when you first learn about the seven chakras, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, neat little energy centers stacked up your spine like a spiritual vending machine, each one color-coded and ready to heal whatever ails you. It felt right, it looked right, and honestly, it's been taught so widely that questioning it feels almost blasphemous. But here's the uncomfortable truth. What you've been taught about the chakra system isn't entirely accurate. And before you think I've gone full conspiracy theorist, hear me out, because this isn't about dismissing chakras altogether. It's about returning to the original source and understanding what got lost or deliberately changed along the way. Now, the chakra system we know today, the one with 7 neat color-coded energy centers, isn't actually what the original Vedic text described. And when you go back to the Upanishads and the ancient Sanskrit sources, the picture changes significantly. The traditional teachings had 6 chakras, not 7, and yet I said it. Now, before we move on, I end up with rotten tomatoes shoved through my letterbox at all hours. Here's the proof and how I ended up shocked to my core. I have an obsession with primary sources. Now, it stems from my love of history and having it drummed into me that you always seek primary sources and only settle for secondary sources if no primary ones can be found. So, for example, if I wanted to find out what's going on in another country, I should jump on an aeroplane and go visit. And this is collecting primary evidence. While there, I could bolster my understanding of things by speaking to the locals from all different walks of life. And this is collecting secondary evidence. And if I wanted to be a really crappy historian, I would read other people's books that they've written or reference newspapers without ever digging in to see what the books or the newspapers were saying is the truth. And this last version is what we've done with the chakras. When I say we, I mean you, me, well, until 2023, but pretty much everybody for around 1600 years. And when I first discovered chakras, the internet, it wasn't the same as it is now. More importantly, I hadn't discovered my favorite place on the internet, archive.org. Now, archive.org, if you've never come across it, it's a global online library which is books from all over the world and books from hundreds of years ago uploaded and preserved. I even read a copy of one of Sir Isaac Newton's experiment books while digging into some stuff a while ago. Suffice to say, books that Amazon don't deliver and your local council library doesn't have in stock are available to you and me around the clock. Having discovered the best place on the internet in 2020, when doing my biannual update to all my techniques and checking the latest research in 2023, I also decided that I'd see about getting the exact translations of the chakras, and this was because different books and authorities would say the exact same symbol meant 2 completely opposing things. Similarly, when giving a definition for the chakra name, again, multiple experts would give completely different meanings and even different names. And the only way I could determine which was correct, because it matters, and we'll come to that, was if I went as close to the source as possible. Now, I wouldn't be getting primary evidence, but I'd definitely not be settling for some dude's version of it either. It was as close as I could get to the truth, and that's what's necessary. Now, the problem was when I searched the English translation of the Vedic text, the chakra is a system of 7 energy centers. Well, it wasn't in there as an explanation that I could find. Lots of references to wheels, such as carriages, potters, mills, etc. References to a discular or circular weapon, so especially Vishnu's. Examples of circles, such as zodiacs or mystical diagrams, cycles, such as years or seasons, etc. All of which the chakra can also mean. So then I went to a Sanskrit dictionary based on the ancient text, and first, when I looked at chakra, I then backed away fast. Once I recovered from shock, I looked for things like ray, energy, power, and anything else I could think of which would then describe the 7-base energy system. Because if I couldn't find it, what I'd accidentally stumbled across while diving into the Sanskrit meaning is chakra must be true. And that heart chakra that everybody's obsessed with opening, that's got to be a later addition, and as it transpires, it's one that coincides with some very specific historical and cultural shifts, including religious influences that weren't part of the original system and have nothing to do with Hinduism at all. So the Sanskrit dictionary lists the definition of chakra, so chakra, as a circle or depression of the body for mystical or chiromatic purposes. And most importantly, it literally states 6 in number, one above the other. So we're going to go through all 6. Bear with me because I'm probably going to butcher the Sanskrit, so I apologise in advance. First up, we have Muladhara, the parts about the pubis. Second, Svadhisthana, the umbilical region. Thirdly, Manipura, the pit of the stomach or epigastrium. Fourthly, commonly described as the heart chakra, is Anahata, which is actually described as the root of the nose. Number 5, Visuddha, the hollow between the frontal sinuses. And number 6, Anyaka, the fontanelle or union of the coronal and sagittal sutures. And here's where it gets really important. If the foundational structure is wrong, everything built on top of it might be too, which is actually really evident when you read the names alongside the initial placement and then take the time to break down each of the chakras and what the lexicon and symbology actually mean from the original meanings, not current misinterpretations. So here's the example of when I realized everything else was wrong. So the most obvious was the neon sign flashing around the Sanskrit definition of Anahata Chakra, the root of the nose. Now, I don't know about you, my heart is a tad further down. But as I look deeper, Anahata also means unwound, which is associated with relaxation, decompression, winding down, all things that happen when we do things like deep breathing. Another definition of Anahata is unbeaten, which can also mean things like invincible, unstoppable, or unconquerable. Again, prana, life force energy or breath, enters and exits the body in an ever-flowing, unbreakable and synchronized way. Yet another definition of Anahata is intact, so things like whole, perfect, complete and entire, which again relates to things like the cosmic waters, life force energy, and all which enters and exits the body through the ear, nose and throat, aka your throat chakra. Oh, and as an aside, another definition is not multiplied, which also tells us this chakra is not the one you want to rely on when manifesting, which is why those past negative experiences you've been playing on repeat in your mind manifest like clockwork, and those affirmations you've been saying relentlessly fall flat. So why does this matter? Well, because when you're meditating on a chakra system that doesn't match the original design, you're essentially trying to tune a radio to a frequency that was never meant to be there. You might feel something, but you're not accessing the actual energetic architecture your body was designed with. It's like trying to unlock a door with the wrong key. You might jiggle it around long enough to feel something's happening, but the lock was never meant for that key. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The chakra system, when understood correctly, aligns with real neuroscience, physiology and energy flow in the body. The vagus nerve, the endocrine system, the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, these aren't spiritual concepts. They're measurable, observable biological systems that correlate with what ancient yogis described as chakras. So here's an example. Cerebrospinal fluid, so CSF, bathes the brain and spinal cord, providing nutrients, removing metabolic waste and supporting immune function. Recent discoveries about the glymphatic system reveal that the CSF flows in rhythmic waves along the spinal column, especially during deep sleep and meditation. Now, ancient yogic texts describe prana or life force energy flowing through nadis or energy channels along the spine. Now, the central nadi, the Sushumna nadi, which when we're going full nerd translates to a kind of sunbeam and flowing water. It runs parallel to the spinal cord, the exact pathway cerebrospinal fluid flows. And when you practice chakra meditation or pranayama, which means breathing techniques, you're literally enhancing CSF flow and glymphatic clearance. This isn't mystical, it's measurable neuroscience. And when you understand the actual chakra system, the one based on original Sanskrit meanings and Vedic understanding, you can work with your body's real energy architecture instead of chasing a modern westernized version that's been diluted and repackaged for Instagram. And here's what you're actually missing. The original chakra system has specific symbols, colours and meanings that are very different from what you've probably been taught. These aren't arbitrary, they're rooted in Sanskrit linguistics, Vedic philosophy and understanding of human development that actually goes back thousands of years. When you use the correct symbols, colours and meanings, your meditation becomes exponentially more effective. You're not just visualising, you're actually aligning with energetic frequencies your body recognises. And the real game changer? Here's what I want you to know. You haven't been doing chakra work wrong because you're not spiritual enough or you're not meditating hard enough. You've been working with incomplete information. And once you understand what the original system actually is, what each chakra truly represents, how they're meant to work together, and how everything connects to your nervous system and your ability to manifest everything shifts. Your meditation deepens, your energy work becomes more potent, your ability to heal and manifest accelerates. And here's 3 things you can do right now. Breath work at the root of your nose. So since Anahata is at the root of your nose, not your heart, the next time you meditate, focus your awareness on the space between your eyebrows and the bridge of your nose. Notice how your breath naturally flows there. That's not a coincidence. That's your body telling you where the actual energy center is. So spend 5 minutes just observing the breath at that location. No forcing, no visualization, just noticing. Number 2, the visualization versus speaking experiment. So try this for a week. Pick something small that you want to manifest, like a parking space, a call from somebody, a bit of extra energy. And for 3 days, just say affirmations about it and notice what happens. Then for the next 3 days, visualize it in detail. See it, feel it, experience it in your mind's eye. Don't say anything, just visualize. Notice the difference. And spoiler alert, visualization will outperform speaking every single time. That's not magic, that's linguistics. And the third thing, the affirmation reality check. So try this. Pick an affirmation that you've been using. For example, I'm confident. Say it out loud 10 times and notice how you feel. Now, instead of just speaking it, visualize yourself being confident. See yourself moving through the world with ease. Feel the sensations in your body. Experience it fully for 2 minutes. Which one felt more real? Which one shifted something in you? That's not coincidence. That's the Sanskrit telling you exactly how manifestation actually works. Ready to go deeper? So I've created a full breakdown of the original chakra system, complete with worksheets, guided meditations, using the correct symbols and frequencies, and a deep dive into the science behind why this matters. Head to the Happiness Hacks Lab, grab the free video, download the worksheets, and discover what the chakra system was actually designed to do, because once you know the truth, you can't unknow it, and your practice will never be the same. See you next week. Now, P.S. the worksheets include chakra scans, meditation guides using the original Sanskrit meanings, and a breakdown of how each chakra connects to your nervous system and your life. Join free at www.thehappinesshackslab.com and unlock the real system today.